The New England Patriots at the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pacers versus the Bucks, and the Pelicans versus the Lakers. Big day in sports, and we're going to break it all down for you. Welcome to the Road to Millions. Andy and Corbin from WagerTalk.com. We're going to go do Team Total Thursday, our best team totals in the NFL. We're going to talk about a Thursday night football best bet that we have. Tough game, not a lot that we like in this game to bet on, and then we'll go over some NHL and NBA props coming off of a winning night last night, 1-0. Only needed one play, cash it, and then we'll talk about the sleeper of the day and the stat of the day. You guys know we always like to start with some positive vibes, so hit the like button and leave us a comment below. Tell us how things are going. Tell us what you won this week. Just leave us a comment. Always keep engaged here. We're looking at Wednesday's show, and Tim says, please do these every day. We try. Try and do them a lot. Jason says, really appreciate your efforts and delivery. Thank you, Jason. Retired paramedic. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw Jacksonville carrying their quarterback into the locker room without a cart. That was hilarious. And then I love this E-Train. Like changing a light bulb. I saw LeBron's outfit before the game made me bet his props. I love it. Betting on what outfit LeBron wore into the locker room. And yes, changing a light bulb. Yeah. So, and then best bet Crosby under 1.5 points. Cash it. Cash that one. Those Pittsburgh, those Pittsburgh Penguins ones. They got a couple guys where they're listing them at like 1.5 points. I mean, last night they scored 1 goal. So, pretty hard to get 2 points when you only score 1 goal. So
exactly.
So, good stuff. Let's just talk about the Thursday night best bet. And Corbin, you're showing patience. Don't like anything, so why not push it, right?
Exactly. We've been on a pretty good NFL run.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Very good.
19-3 is pretty good, Corbin.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I just don't particularly fancy anything. Don't trust either of these teams. Don't trust Trubisky. Najee Harris obviously is carrying an injury. Not sure if he's going to play. There's just quite a lot of unknowns and 2 quite honestly horrible teams. So I'm just staying away.
Okay. I talked about Deontay Johnson on Bet On It, and I do think it's worth looking at. He does have a rapport with Mitch Trubisky. He's gone over in all of these games that Mitch Trubisky has been starting or at least playing a lot in. You know, the last game he had 4 catches for 45 yards and against that weird Arizona game. But earlier this year against Jacksonville, Pickett gets hurt. Trubisky comes in. Deontay Johnson has 8 catches. Trubisky started 3 games last year to start the year. Deontay Johnson has 6, 7, and 8. At the end of the season, he started 2 games. Deontay Johnson had 8 and 10 receptions. I don't know. I've scoured the social media, which is always a great source of information. And I'm seeing George Pickens as a popular play, and I'm stunned. I like Deontay Johnson's the shorter, kind of check down-ish guy. Like, if Najee Harris is banged up, isn't that more touches for other guy? I don't know. Plus money on Deontay Johnson at 4.5 receptions, I think is worth a look. Is it the most confident play of the week? No, but
No.
It's the only one that I would even remotely consider. So if you want to do a same game parlay, maybe with him to have like 4+ receptions and then maybe an alt like under for the game, like bump that thing up to like 37.5 or 38.5, something like that. But so not an exciting Thursday night football game, even from the betting perspective. So
no.
So what do we have up? Well, today, guys, 5% NFL and NCAA pack. So we're just combining all football plays into one pack. 22-3 football run in college and
Pretty
NFL.
good.
Not bad. Not bad. And we have a 5% play. We have not done a 5% play in a long time. So check that out. And also, guys, make sure you're checking out the units that we have in the play line and in the description. It's telling you exactly what units we're betting, how many units, what we're betting to win. So the percentages, don't just blindly play all the percentages. We're trying to make it very clear, and I am very happy with how it's going. So I enjoy the units breakdown compared to the percentages. So we are still doing the discount on the rest of the year from $299 down to $199. If you've waited on this, get it tonight because all the action starts today and tomorrow, and then for the weekend. So if you didn't get this pack, for the last couple nights we've only had one play each night, but it's going to start to ramp up. So you want to get the best value. So if you want the rest of the year, it's down to $199. I mean, the pack this weekend's 35. So you can pay 35 or you can get the rest of the year for 199. It's a no-brainer. So make sure you're getting that to lock in all the plays, especially if you have the domestic books. A lot of our plays come off the domestic book. So if you have domestic books and you're in a legalized state, these are like must-add plays to your portfolio. You really should get those. So
Not long till the darts.
yes, and darts especially. Those are on the domestics, and we got to take advantage of those. So. All right, Corbin, let's do team total Thursday. So I like the Cowboys over. I like the Jets under. You like the Packers over. And you like the Bears over. So I'll let you start. Your Packers, are you believing now in Jordan Love all of a sudden? What's
I
going
can't
on?
believe it. I'm finally on board. I finally made that step. So the Packers, as you mentioned, have really found their mojo recently. They're flying on offense and for somewhat actually defense. We actually look like we can play some defense, which is quite shocking to me, quite honestly. Even AJ Dillon finally looks like a strong running back. He's caught a few passes in the passing game as well, but he's becoming a lot more consistent. And in these type of conditions, the later in the year it goes, that power back is he's just running through these defenses at the minute. So that's pretty good. Jordan Love has been so much more reliable. He looks confident, he looks sharp, and he finally seems to be on the same page as all the wide receivers. Reed and Wicks have had great games, so I think they can attack this Giants defense in all over the pitch, quite honestly. The Packers still have the strong chance of making the playoffs. They really need the win here to continue the momentum. Giants have been awful on defense, ranking 28th in total defense, which is appalling. They have nothing to play for except pride. And the Packers have gone over in three straight, whereas the Giants have given up this total in 8 of 12 this season, only holding the offenseless Jets and the Patriots, as well as the Commanders and the Bills. So I'm going to take the Packers over 20.5.
Nice. I'm just going to rinse and repeat and just take the Dallas Cowboys. I'll just go over their points that they've scored at home this season: 30 against the Jets, 38 against the Patriots, 43 against Chargers, 49 against the Giants, 45 against the Commanders, 41 against the Seahawks. There's a lot of 40s
Yeah.
in there, and it's below this key number of 28 and a half. This Eagles defense, they're tired. They have been getting thrown all over. They've given up 27 passing touchdowns this season. Only Washington is worse. And here's the scary thing, Corbin. 15 of those passing touchdowns have been in the last 5 games. So
Crazy.
they're getting worse. So Dallas is going to throw all over this Eagles team. I have no doubts about that. So as long as it's under 28 and a half, I will continue to take the Cowboys at home.
Yeah, something else I'll mention about that. I've had a couple of questions because I think they only scored, was it 23 in their head to head? But that was like weeks ago. The defense has significantly worsened in that time. As you mentioned, they look really tired. And obviously, Cowboys being at home, they
It
could
was
easily
on
go over.
grass at Philly.
Yeah,
I'm not
there's a
concerned
lot
in
of
the
reasons why
slightest.
it can go over. They can get over 23, let alone the 27. So
Yeah, yeah.
expecting improvements.
And it's
So
why this is why I keep playing this one at home. That's the key. I
yeah.
want to play him at home against a bad pass defense. So. Bears over 19 and a half. I'm with you lockstep on this one. I love the Bears this week. What do you like about them?
Yeah, so obviously the Bears are eliminated. So same as I mentioned with the Giants, they don't really have a whole lot to play for except pride. But they are at home. Obviously, they're gonna want to put on a show for their fans. And some of these players are still fighting to keep their jobs. I'm not entirely sure Field should feel that confident about staying there. He's going to want to try and put on a show to, at worst, get another quarterback job somewhere. Division matchup, they're going to, of course, want to try and beat the Lions because who likes the Lions? The Lions defense has lots of injuries and has been attacked by the run quite significantly in recent games. Actually, we've regarded them as a good rush defense for most of the year, but these last couple of games, they they haven't lived up to that. They've had a couple of injuries on defense, so there's quite a lot of problems going on with that Lions defense. The Bears have gone over this total in their last 6 head-to-head home matchups versus the Lions. They got 26 against them a month or so ago, and they've gone 4 straight have gone over this total against the Lions. That just kind of shows their defense is really struggling. So I like the Bears to run, quite honestly, all over the Lions and put up quite a few points. So
I love it. The Lions just put one of their best pass rushers on IR, so I love the Bears this week as well over. So I'm going the Jets under. I mean, give me a break with this team. I mean, they they start Zach Wilson, throw him to the wolves, then they have the nerve to bench him, and then go back to him, and then
crazy.
the leaks are that he doesn't want to play, and I can't blame him.
No. Imagine
I mean,
getting benched for Tim Boyle. Like, it's not even like it's a really credible backup. They didn't even go to back to him as their second option. They went to I've forgotten his name, Trevor
Trevor
Simeon.
Simeon.
Yeah, as like their third option. Then they were like, oh, he's even worse. We'll go back to option 1. So
And not only so, all right. So they bench Zach Wilson. They give the ball to Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle plays terrible. So they release him. And like this, you just can't bet overs on franchises that are a joke. And this is a joke this season. This season is a complete joke. They signed Alan Lazard because Aaron Rodgers wants him there. Oh. Alan Lazard is not even on the team anymore. And now the interesting thing about this game is they're playing Houston, who's really good against the run and not very good against the pass. But this isn't a team that can pass. Like, Breece Hall is probably their best offensive weapon at this point. And they're going up against a Houston Texans team that can slow down the run. So I don't see points in this one. And if you're Zach Wilson, I mean, what is your motivation to stand in the pocket, take hits, and deliver the ball? I could see him throwing the ball away so many times on this game. I don't know. I think.
How do we bet on throwaways?
Seriously, I don't know how anybody playing on this Jets team can be motivated in this one. 10 points would be a good day at the office, I think, for them. So those are your team totals. Cowboys over 27.5, Jets under 14.5. Corbin likes the Packers over 20.5, and the Bears over 19.5. We'll do the sleeper of the day and the stat of the day, and then we'll talk about some NBA and NHL props. Sleeper of the day is actually tonight. It's Ezekiel Elliott over 15.5 receiving yards. I don't have a whole lot on this play, but 4 catches for 40 yards last week when Ramondre Stevenson went out has my attention. I just don't know. I don't know if it's the Patriots. Some unknown guy off the practice squad could have 5 catches in the backfield. That's why this is a sleeper play of the day, because I don't know if I would get to the window on this one. I don't know what their weapons are going to be. I don't know what their game plan is. So many unknowns, but 40 yards last week. He did have 1 catch at 23 yards. And this number at least is in the zone of 1 catch he could get over. Since he had, 23-yard one. So Zeke, Zeke is going to be, I don't know. I probably not going to bet, but the pickings are slim with only 2 NBA games tonight. So that's sleeper of the day. All right, stat of the day here, Corbin. Deron Bland of the Cowboys have 5 interceptions returned for touchdowns this season. Kyle Pitts has 4.
Now who's picking violence against NFL players? Andy versus Kyle Pitts is the new one.
Oh, think about that. There's one guy that has more pick sixes this season than Kyle Pitts has receiving touchdowns in his career. So, poor Kyle Pitts. I mean, has there ever been a bigger letdown in fantasy football over the last few years? Like, he comes in as a rookie, and it's like, got Kyle Pitts. Terrible. Next year, Kyle Pitts. This is going to be the year, Kyle Pitts. And, wow, 4 in his career. So,
crazy.
Poor guy. So
maybe next year's his year.
Maybe next year. So, there's 2 games tonight. We got the Pacers and the Bucks, and we've got the Pelicans and the Lakers. And, Corbin, you were all over Trey Murphy the other day. You were correct.
Yeah.
So, let's just start with him. You were all over his points.
Yeah,
Now, here's the thing. He has only played in 2 games this season because he came back from injury. And you love guys coming off of injury, right?
I do. I do.
Well, you were very much correct. His total was 10.5 last game, and he had 16. So he's at 18 and 16. It's at 13.5. Now, you could look at him and say, well, he's also gone over in his 3-pointers. He's also gone over his points, rebounds, and assists. So I went back and looked at his last 30, and his points, rebounds, and assists is insane. Like, he has gone over, what is this, 22 straight games going back to last season. The catch, though, is that he at the end of the season, Zion Williamson wasn't playing for this team he was starting. He's coming off the bench, and he played 30 minutes. So technically, he came off the bench, but he played 30 minutes. I don't know, Corbin, what do you think? This is a huge line move. It was 10.5 for his points. Now it's 13.5. But I get the move. They put that out at way too low. What do you think?
Exactly.
Is this worth coming back to?
I would probably still come back to it. You mentioned he's still getting decent minutes. 13.5 is still not an awful lot of points. It's if it was like 14 or 15, I would say pass. But 13.5 is just about in my play range still. So yeah, I think I'd probably still go back to it at least for another game or two. So
Yeah, and when you look at his position, he's a shooting guard, so he's not going to have to worry about, inside against Anthony Davis. He's got to, I mean, let's face it, on the outside, the Lakers are not very good on
yeah,
defense. That perimeter defense is not scaring anybody. And you look at the last game, it was 106-103. It actually kind of came down to defense there, but this Pelicans team, man, I mean, their last game against the Kings was, a 240 point total. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the Pelicans push the pace a little bit here, and we'll see if you get the same defensive effort from the Lakers tonight. So,
if you had to pick one, which would you go? Points, rebounds, assists? Like if you had to pick one?
well, what worries me about the points, rebounds, and assists is, I mean, he does not get. He had
Yeah.
2 and 1. He had played 30 minutes and he had 3
Mm.
rebounds and assists. He got there with points. So
So probably just stick to the points.
I would stick to either the points or the 3-pointers. Yeah.
Hmm.
So been shooting the ball pretty decent from 3-pointers. So if he goes over his 3-pointers, he's probably going over his points. So,
Yeah.
but better price, I would take his points. So, I did have to laugh at Giannis being 52.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He doesn't go over this total a ton. But the last time he played the Pacers, I said Giannis could easily go over 50, and he did. He had 69 points, rebounds, and assists the last time we played the
Whew.
Pacers. We do not have anybody. I don't
Anybody
even
full
want to
stop?
say stop him. We don't have anybody to slow him down.
Yeah.
Like the only thing we can do is use our 6 fouls on all the bigs, but we need them. We need those guys in there. Giannis is motivated. They certainly look like they're trying hard in this tournament. I there's no way I'm taking an under on Giannis points, rebounds, and assists. The
Yeah.
only way to play Giannis is over. The total in this game, Corbin, is 253.
Wow.
If they go anywhere near this total, Giannis is going to have 40 points. He just is, and he's going
Well,
to
would
have.
you rather take his points in that reasoning then, or would you still stick to the points, rebounds, and assists?
So his rebounds and assists. I would want
Because
to take the PRA.
haven't your Pacers been decent against assists? I feel like I've looked into that one before, and they stop the assists quite well, and they're not that bad at rebounding. It kind of feels like points is the
Yeah, points is the big one, but I mean, look at these. Look at his RA numbers:
yeah
18, 21, 19, 15, 32. I guess you're probably right though, because going back to the matchup, he had 54 against
yeah
against the Pacers. So even if he has 19 less than that, he still cashes. So
yeah.
yeah, you're probably right. It's probably the points. Just take the other categories out of it, and just Lillard's been doing a good job with assists on this team. So I would think Trey Murphy over his points and Giannis over his points tonight. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Pacers aren't going to stop anybody on that one. So, and then the other kind of interesting thing is, like, Tyrese Halliburton has I don't think anybody's thought he's like not good, but just in the last week or so, I see him now being elevated on the national level. I hear nobody talks about the Pacers at ESPN. Nobody. But now they're starting to talk about it, and I'm wondering if his numbers are going to start to get inflated here a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get that little bump that he's now a big name guy, to the casual fan. So you look at his points, rebounds, and assists, and it's a ton, 45 and a half. So his assists number, what do they have that at? 11 and a half to 12 and a half. 12 and a half assists per game. That's kind of crazy. I think he's
Crazy
just
thing is, he probably could still get there quite easily.
he absolutely could. He absolutely could. But I think everyone's going to be excited to bet on Halliburton, and I would just say, be careful. The value may be gone on him. The book. There's no way the books are going to let themselves get torched on Halliburton's stats when he's like the
Yeah.
flavor of the week or the flavor of the month right now. So that's the only thing I have in NBA. So. Um, we have a best bet up in NHL, and there's not a whole lot going on besides the play that I like, obviously. Zuccarello's the one that's got uh, the big streak going with points. Problem is he plays the Canucks, who are second best in goals allowed. So I'm not going to take that. And if you're looking at guys to not have, um, this one's interesting. The Brad Marchand is 1.5 points. He had 3 in his last game, but look at before that. And this 1.5 number is big because if he has 1 point only, you still cash it. So I haven't fired away on some of these guys, but the Pittsburgh guys, they're at 1.5 points and they've been going under. So some of these guys that are at 1.5, just keep your eye on for that. So shots on goal, I can go over just a little bit, see if there's anybody. Jack Hughes, yeah. Nothing much going on there with shots on goal. But we do have our best bet that is up in the NHL. So cash the last 2, actually, the last couple nights. So, Corbin, I got to give you credit, and I want to talk about this a little bit. You had a great read on the Man City game yesterday.
Yes,
You told us, be careful. So what
I
happened?
did. I did. Well, unfortunately, I went to the game and it was just a disaster, just as I predicted. Quite honestly, we've got injuries all over the place. Our main central midfielder was missing, and without him, we're just a completely different team. He was suspended for one game because he got 5 yellow cards. We couldn't pass the ball. We looked slow, and you just look at who we brought in to like replace him. We brought in 2 kids under the age of 20 that just don't really have any experience, and two 50 million pound midfielders who were on the bench, and we would rather play a defender in midfield. So they were like even like third or fourth choice. It was just Villa dominated us from start to finish. So yeah, City normally struggle in this period of the season anyway. They did it like last year, the year before. I really wouldn't touch us until the new year, quite honestly, unless
Really?
we get on a new run. Yeah, I would avoid us. We're just unbettable. We'll probably scrape, like we're playing Luton away, who like we're the team to beat. We won the treble. Everyone circles this game as soon as the fixtures come out, and we just have so many issues. We just look all over the place that right now I'd consider our games unbettable, at least from goals or both teams to score. I would quite honestly avoid all of them. I might still look to the corners and the shots market, but even last night we only had 2 shots, and they both came in the same sequence of play 10 minutes in. We were losing the game and we still didn't have any shots. So I would quite honestly avoid Man City for the considerable future. So a couple other soccer bits to note. Arsenal were flying their top of the league again, just like last year, but they're only getting there in the last minute, so they're not covering any spreads. I saw quite a few people have them. They actually played Luton and they took them to win to nil, and they ended up winning 3-2 scoring with the last kick of the game. So they
Hmm.
didn't cover any spreads. There was no kind of value there at all. And you get into these games towards the end of the year where they're playing like Tuesday, Wednesday to then Saturday, Sunday. The fixtures are just so crammed that it's so hard for all these players to maintain the same rhythm, focus, momentum, and physical levels. They're all tired. The squads come into effect. You're playing backups. They're just not going to be as good, of course. Otherwise, they'd be starting. So there's quite a few issues. We have Villa. Villa obviously just beat us. They're flying. They actually play Arsenal this weekend, so that's an interesting watch. I may look for the overs market in that one. And then the only other team I'd mention are Chelsea. I see people on Chelsea throughout the season because they've spent £1 billion. They don't play that bad, but they just can't score. They struggle to score. They're just unbettable for me as well. So I just advise caution going into the winter kind of months and fixtures. It's just chaos, quite honestly. So
Okay, so we're gonna pick our spots. We're gonna be patient with them. We've been
yeah,
on a really nice soccer run, but there's no reason to force anything. So,
yeah,
so this weekend may have a couple soccer plays. Definitely have our college football play that is up, and the NFL the NFL pack is going to include the college football play. So take advantage of that over at WagerTalk.com. 5% NFL NCAA pack, one price, get you all the plays. But really, more importantly, get the rest of the year discount if you haven't already. Normally $299, down to $199. No promo code needed. Just go to Andy Lang profile page on WagerTalk.com. It's right there on the right hand side. So I think that's going to do it for us. Tomorrow we're going to be back. We're going to do a little bit more deep dive on the weekend games, NFL. We'll have some NFL best bets for you. We'll go over NBA and NHL and get everyone ready for the weekend. And then next week, get ready. It's darts time. Very, very excited
yeah.
about that. We keep teasing that, but I'm very excited about that. So good luck on all your plays. We'll do Bankroll Reset Day tomorrow. Good luck on your plays tonight. We'll see everyone on Friday on the Road to Millions.
Good luck.